Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the Firm. I'm here with your host, Lance. Lance, fish are afraid of me. Cayko, Lance.
Trout are scared.
Trout better hide.
Trout ain't safe.
Trout ain't safe. Cayko. And your co-host / other host, Al Gore.
Al, the problem solver, Gore.
Ooh, trying to.
I wish everybody could see, who is listening terrestrially right now could see us because we are Christmas themed. I'm wearing a red sweater and Al Gore is wearing a green sweater.
Yeah, so just, if you don't know what we look like, Google us and then
Imagine.
Put sweaters on in your head and there you go. Speaking of sweaters, I want to talk about Revit Rocket Ship.
Do you? That's a good call. Excellent segue. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were wondering how to segue,
talk to Al Segue Gore.
You got it.
Al
exactly.
Segue Gore.
That's exactly
He'll tell
his
you.
Name.
Essentially, if you want to learn Revit, haven't learned it, or feel like you're not doing it right, go to RevitRocketShip.com. Yours truly teaches you the fundamental basics you need to succeed. It's been tested by over 1,000 people, rave reviews. It teaches you the fundamentals, and it sets you up for learning about construction by the way that you model. We give you our template that we update every year. It's broken into bite-sized pieces so that you can go at your own pace. You can come back when you forget a certain segment, and it's right there rather than just long talks. So go to RevitRocketShip.com.
Make that happen. Yeah. And you know what I want to talk about, Al?
What?
Every day, more architecture professionals are adding ArchiCAD to their workflow to save them time and money. ArchiCAD helps designers, specifiers, and architects compare and select the best products for their projects with their powerful search engine. They also offer data files like BIM, CAD, and specifications right on the same site for free. That's FREE, free without registration. Visit archicad.com today and see why so many professionals are consolidating their product search to one task. That is, visit archicad.com. That's ARCAT.com to start building better content today.
I just want to give you an update. I'm pointing at Lance, but I really mean all the listeners. So Lance and I are creating the Architect to Builder course.
Slowly, surely.
We're building it. I just finished interviews with 3 architect builders that are going to be the bonus sections.
That's awesome.
What's great about it is that it's hands-on, right? A lot of times you don't know. Well, here's an example. So 2 of them, their dads were in construction, right? So they can ask a question and then get the answer. Well, your dad was in construction, but not in the light that we are.
100%. You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're going to be your construction fathers.
Yes. Welcome
through this course. And the thing about it is that just getting this firsthand experience, listening to these people and their struggles and what they did sets you up for success. Here's an example, right?
I love it. Give it to me. Give me the example.
You won't know if you purchase this course. You won't know how much easier your life is because you wouldn't have done the dumb things and the hard things, right?
God, that's so true.
So here's an example, and it's hard to get that across, right? But let's just say, Lance, I told you to go charge a bunker.
Yep.
And let's say I taught the other guys how to charge a bunker. Right? So you have a team. I go, Lance, go charge it, right?
And I do it, and I don't know what I'm doing because nobody taught me.
Well, what are you gonna do? I literally go like, this is a serious situation. Like, get rid of that bunker, destroy it.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So, and you're gonna die. You're gonna charge it in some weird way.
This sounds like the spoiler alert. If you're looking for a terrible movie, watch River. What is it? Legend of the Fall.
Yeah.
This is like the brother who decides to take them all to war, and then he has no idea what to do, and he dies.
Oh, perfect. Well, so the other group right, is going to use cover and move, and they're going to use concealment, right?
Okay.
And then they're going to, like grenades.
It sounds like they got skills.
Call for fire, right?
Yep.
All of a sudden they got taught, and they watch you and they go, "Why would you do it that way? That's so stupid."
That guy looks like that dead guy down there seems like an idiot.
They go, "I would never do it that way."
Yeah.
That's just because you were shown the right way to do it, and that's what you're leaping. That's the side steps that you're getting with Architect to Builder course. It's not out yet. If you want to get on the waiting list, email me at akg@f9productions.com. Again, akg@f9productions.com. You'll be on the waiting list. You'll get a discount that won't be to the general public. It'll just be the people on the waiting list. Go ahead and email me. Lance, I guess it's still me.
It's still you. You talk it up, Al.
Well, let's talk about why being on the job site matters.
Yeah, you tell me.
So, communication is key.
Yeah, it's critical.
Clarity is key.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I have a lot of conversations with other owners, right? That, like own the drywall business, own the cleaning business, own whatever, right? And we talk about what needs to be done. And then going to the job site and just talking to the people there. And then they go, "Oh, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this." And you can tell them. So they don't leave the job site, right? Because getting people back on the job site is very hard, and they do it. And even if they want to call their boss, they'll go, "Oh yeah, you are supposed to do that too," right?
Yep.
So there's just that. And then secondly, on being clear, right?
Well, here's what I think you're doing is like I just want to clarify for everybody. You tell me if I'm right or wrong here, but what Alex is saying is more or less is like it's obvious you need to be on the job site, especially if you're building. But it's this is why.
Yes.
It's like don't overlook the obviousness of it. Make sure that you recognize this is part of the benefits.
Yep. Part of the deal.
There you go.
And second thing where I messed up, so I was communicating with an architecture client, and I was writing down, "Hey, here's what's going to happen. Here's all everything that we need to do. Here's the cost and all that." And the client got super mad at me. So I pulled Lance down. I said, "Hey, Lance, what's blah 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 blah." And you go,
"Oh, that's what it sounded like to me too." Can I be completely honest?
Yeah.
I was like, "Al, you've explained this to me multiple times, and I don't know I don't know. It's very convoluted."
Yes.
And then it seemed like it kind of seemed like you went about this like backwards.
Right.
All you had to do is flip one thing for one thing. The content stays the same, but it changes the conversation.
Right. So then I did that in an email, and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry I presented it this way."
Al literally turned to me and goes, "What the hell did you say? Something about humble pie?"
I'm eating humble pie.
Which I could, like, I was like, "Oh, that's amazing." Like, that's not Lance shouldn't be, like, how is Lance encouraging people to do humble pie? That's crazy.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
That's crazy talk.
That don't make no sense. Because unless you clearly understand, like, where someone's coming from and where they're coming from, you're going to have miscommunication.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you have miscommunication, what's going to happen? Especially if
nothing's going to get solved, that's for sure.
Oh.
That's number one, that nothing is going to get solved because if the water is so muddied, you can't see to the fish you're trying to catch. To give it a little analogy there.
Nice. So I said, "Hey, sorry, that's not how it should be. Let me retry to clarify." Reclarified. Still, the way I presented it on the confusion, like the adrenaline was up. The adrenaline was up on that client, and like 2 more emails, blah blah blah. And then it was, and I knew this, but these emails were coming at night. Like we need to meet, right? So in the morning we need to meet, and I said, "Let's go have a walk and talk." And the walk and talk was me re-explaining my email, pretty darn close to what I said in the initial email. And he was like, "Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense."
Fuck, email's so terrible for communication sometimes. It's just not. You cannot think of it as this one-stop shop for communication. It's so bad sometimes.
Yep.
Just the worst.
And I think that reminds me. I think it was a bunch of podcasts ago, but you were talking to a client, and it was about the contract, and you're like, "Let's just get on the phone."
Oh, no, that's what I've been saying. I've been saying that what I was bringing up with that was that during contract negotiations, just So actually, when I send out a contract or proposal, I say, if you have any questions, let's set up a call. Here's a link. I don't even give the option of we're going to email. Like, because then I've established that's how I want to communicate. And then if they reply back with an email, a bunch of questions, hey,
here's my
these are great. Let's jump on a call.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it and solve that problem. So then you did solve the problem, right?
Oh yeah.
The water got unmuddied.
Yep. We saw all the fish.
The giant trout was down there.
Yep. And we said, hey, don't worry, I'm not Lance. And they go, whoa.
Thank God, because
I
was
almost
nervous.
fish pooped myself.
Yep, exactly.
But it's okay because it's water. We just swim
he's
away.
like, safe again.
Yeah.
Safe. Yes, sir. Exactly. You ever heard of Mark Lawrence?
No. Lawrence of Arabia?
So I haven't done this for a while, and I figured everybody would enjoy this. Let me see if I can look up the text real quick. All right, so I got a text message earlier in the week. It's Friday, and this was on Tuesday, and it said, "Hi, I'm Mark. ... I would like to know if you do architectural drawing and designing for a proposal."
Another one of these.
Residential building. But I'm bringing this up again because they're getting better. Either they're listening to the podcast, kind of like a trout. Like a trout that's already seen my lure, you know?
That one, the green one with the spots and the little whiskers.
All that stuff.
Not doing
It's just like not doing it anymore. So they're like, wow, we've already seen Lance Cayko's lures. We're going to try to bait him into some other scams.
Yeah.
So I didn't respond back until the next day, and I go, we do. And then I said, with whom am I speaking? And he goes, Mark Lawrence. I would like to have a design for a modern house, 4 bedrooms, 2-story building, all suite. Please send your email address so I could forward the full project details. So I did. And then I said, please be sure to send the address of the property you wish to design the home on as well. And it responded, good English so far.
Yeah.
Sent. Then he goes, sent, thanks. Sure enough, I get an email about a half hour, 45 minutes after that. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is real. Like, who knows? It's 2020.
Who am I to judge?
Anything's possible. So he emails, hello, I want a 3,500 square foot, 4-bedroom design, 2-story building with an entrance, porch, ante room.
Antique room?
ANTE, guest room, main living room, open kitchen area, laundry room, master suite, study room / office space, and 2 other bedrooms, terrace, family room, and 2-car garage. Lot address, blah, 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 Loveland, Colorado. My budget is $2 million, and I wish to start an architectural design this month and spend 10 to 12 months on construction. Kindly provide me a detailed total estimate based on the square footages of the project.
You immediately go,
thank you, regards.
Let's get it on a chat. I mean, let's get on the phone.
What I did is, as I was sitting there finishing, I was finished with dinner. My wife was still eating, and I brought my laptop over. Let's look up this property address.
Yeah.
So I looked up the property address using the county assessor, and it came up. Not that person owned it.
Yeah.
So I responded back, and I took a screenshot, and I said, "Thanks. Why isn't the property in your name?" He responds back right away. Like, I was actually impressed with how quickly he was going back and forth. Hello, Lance. The property is in escrow, so the name will be changed as soon as the deal is closed. You have nothing to worry about. Thank you again. Regards. And I go, great. Let's book a meeting then. I insist on meeting clients, even if it's virtual, and I gave him 2 links or the in person.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll check it out. I haven't heard back. So these people are getting scammier.
They're getting good. That was pretty good.
It was pretty good. Here's where Mark fucked up. I'll bleep that out maybe.
Nah.
Okay,
no.
keep it. Here's where he screwed up. Mark screwed up when he said ante room. Nobody's doing these ante rooms anymore. If he would have said safe room or something like that. So if you're listening, I just want to let you know that you should increase your scam game a little bit, because you know what an ante room is?
Chamber serving like a waiting room?
Yes.
Would I pass the A.R.Es?
You passed it.
I passed the A.R.Es.
The buildings didn't fall down. An antechamber, typically serving as a waiting room. Yeah, exactly. So, they're getting a little crazy. So if you get a text message from Mark Lawrence,
could be a fancy person. You just lost out on a, $200,000 project.
Could have been huge. Getting that Nick money.
Yeah. You know what we're talking about. Listeners.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that. That is that. And I want to talk about going fishing, but not the kind of fishing that I keep talking about. Different kind of fishing.
Fishing for clients?
Fishing, close. Fishing for publications. Fishing for publicity. So little Al Gore had a wonderful idea yesterday, and he said, hey, you should reach out to X, Y, and Z, who are local publications, in addition to these other people that you're reaching out for. And so basically I spent the better part of yesterday just putting together a little marketing package to try to see if we can get some of our unpublished work that I think should be published because I think it's very good work. El Dorado Climbing Walls, if you've never heard of that, check it out on our website. Mark II, the building we're sitting in, our own development. And then Eastwatch House, I still think there's other magazines that could pick it up, or publications that would be interested because it's such a unique house. So here's how you do it, okay? I know everybody wants to get published. Everybody who's an architect, they want to get in a magazine, they want to get into a book, they even want to get into a website, and publicity goes so far. Alex will attest to this. Eastwatch House, as soon as we got it on ARC Daily, and then Dwell, and then the Modern Showcase thing, and then on the website, the amount of calls that we get and leads and then actual clients that we've gotten signed because of that house, I don't think there's been another project that has done that for us yet.
There has not.
So these other two projects, I really think they're about on the same kind of level with that because it's good architecture.
El Dorado is. What's the other one?
Mark II.
Oh, yeah.
I think it is. I just think it shows a bigger project that we can do and all that other stuff, right? Yeah. Whatever. It's unique.
Yeah. Do we have any night pictures? Remember how cool it looked with the
No,
glass?
we need to. We should send Jason. Once we clean up the shop, shop's gross.
Yeah.
We're building. We're going to do that soon. Okay, so here's what you do. Because here's what the publications want to see, okay? And for the record, the ones I contacted yesterday was I recontacted Dwell. I reached out to ARC Daily again. I reached out to ARC Record. I reached out to Design Milk, DZian, 5280, a bunch of local ones. It was 12 in a row. And it was kind of sort of similar messages. But what they're looking for is, remember, you want to do their job for them in the sense that I've already written a narrative. I've already gotten a hierarchy of photos to use. So there's some rules of thumb that you should remember, okay? So I made 3 Dropbox folders with links that were basically shareable to anybody. So I could just send these out one right after another sort of thing. So I'll read you the email first, and then I'll kind of dive in a little bit to what the folder structure looks like and the fundamentals of the writing and all of that. So, good morning, X, Y, and Z. I'm writing today to submit 3 architecture and building projects for your consideration in Colorado. And you could replace Colorado for in ARC Daily or whatever. They are a custom home we designed near Golden, Colorado, a shipping container project that we recently did for El Dorado Climbing Walls in Louisville, Colorado, an urban infill project that we actually designed as the architects, built as the contractors, and sold as the developers. So I'm already trying to give them a hint of we are a unique story. That's not typical, right? Because everybody likes a story. Building a story brand, right, Al?
Yep, absolutely.
That's what gets Southwest all of their blah, blah, blah. Building a story brand. All of their accolades, and people love them.
Yeah, yep.
It is called Mark II, and our headquarters is also stationed within one of the units. Please find a link to write-up, plans/drawings, and professional photographs as follows. And then I listed the project and then gave them a Dropbox link. Thank you for your consideration. Happy to answer any of your questions about the projects and hope we can work together. Boom. I got a reply this morning, or last night. It was awesome. It made my night prior to watching Legends of the Fall, which is, again, a terrible film. Don't watch it.
I'm going to look it up right now.
It's got 7.2 at IMDb, but still. So, then in the folders, what you're looking for and what you want to do is I have a couple different, varies slightly, but I have an all photos folder because if you've ever had any of your work photographed, if you have a good photographer, and we do, is that they're going to take more photos than you need. Mm-hmm. And then even from that, you're going to pare it down from there and go I'm just too emotionally attached to this project, and you will be. And to where I still have 40 photos. So you need an all photos folder for the 40 photos, because then you need a primary photos folder. The primary photos folder should have 20 photos or less. And that's where you need to figure out what is the best photos. You need to figure out with your staff or whatever, because all of the design competitions that I've been submitting to, including ARC Records, Record Houses, Architizer. They all want 20 or less photos. They're all on the same page as this. The other thing they all want is they want plans with some sort of graphic scale. So make sure you include like some kind of graphic scale, a north arrow, and a site plan. And then everybody loves these diagrams of the building sections. And then they show like, look, the sun's up here in the summer, and then it comes in, and that kind of classic one you got to have. And then the last thing to do, and this one's critical, this is where you're starting to do a little bit of the work for them, or at least, I think, fishing with the right bait.
There you go. Wow. Bringing it back full circle.
It's like a jig in the wintertime, and they're really finicky. And so what you're giving them is 500 words or less. 500 words or less for the project description. And so what you want to have in that one is, one second, let me get the, let me go back to it here, architecture projects. Mark II is one that I wrote up. I'm actually going to read it because I think it's good. Okay, so here's how you should set this up. You should say, in this Word document, you should have project title, Mark II, stats. I gave them the site the site size, 0.29 acres, the total square footage build, how many units, different kinds of units, the construction budget, and then I had a write up about it, right? And my writing up, I won't read it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I will read it. So I have 4 paragraphs, and you need to be as concise as possible, but with all of them, everybody wants innovation. Everybody wants green stuff because it's buzzy at this point. So here's what I wrote up for us. Completed in December of 2019, Mark II is an innovative and highly dense mixed-use development in Longmont, Colorado. The architects, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko of F9 Productions, Inc., served in a non-typical role for this development by being both the builders and developers. This allowed them to facilitate an incredibly compact, efficient site design, explore complex architectural features, and achieve cost-effective structural acrobatics, which otherwise would have been too cost-prohibitive had they not been the builder and developer in addition to being architect of record. The development consists of 2 buildings, a 6-plex. So I won't go into it. I'll kind of cut it short here. I explained what just went from macro down to micro, and then the third paragraph, that's kind of like the second paragraph. The third paragraph is when I started to explain some of the features. And then the last one, I cinched it up with all of the green stuff, right? So we used like extra insulation and high performance windows. And then I talked about how cost effective it has been to heat and cool our unit and stuff like that. That's what you're looking for that. And if you're fishing that way and you do it enough times, you're going to get people's attention and you can get press. And that press is so valuable. I can't overstate it. Just for cost-wise, to think about it this way. Basically, like a quarter page spread in any of these magazines is going to start around like $500 to $1,000. When you get into the full page spread stuff, per page, a couple $1,000s each. We are going to be in Builder Magazine, and I talked about that, I think, 2 or 3 podcasts ago, with multi-spread pages. It's going out to thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. If that's remember, like, for you to not have to pay for that press, you need to be the press and set up the precedent for that. So, absolutely, I think that's all I got for that segment.
Cool. You got one more.
That's because we didn't podcast last week because we got into an argument, and I went fishing. Okay, so the next segment I got here is.
Wait, do you want to leave that for next week?
No, we'll have more stuff to talk about. Don't you think?
I'll be closing on a house. That's
okay. We won't.
And Friday we won't. We won't be. Here on Friday.
I'm gonna say. I'll give you a little teaser, folks. I've got some excellent thumbtack advice coming up about how to get, instead of full refunds, you can get courtesy credits. So if people aren't responding, we'll talk about that. And then we've got a listener question, and it is from a gentleman. Let me see here. His name is Sloan.
Let's do that, and then we'll leave the.
No. Let's not do that because I think Sloan Springer, longtime listener. I am going to. We'll read that next time. I'm sorry. Holy cow! See, we do have another one too. 3 easy ways. Which one should we do now? We got 25 minutes in. We'll do that for next time too. I think we should do Nick's reads though.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
I think we should still do Sloan.
Okay,
Sloan
we'll do
Nick.
Sloan.
Yep. You asked me the question.
Okay, I'm going to just... hold on, though. Let me highlight this one so I know we didn't do that. All right. Al?
Yeah.
I hope you guys are doing well. I recall once upon a time on your podcast, you talking about your experience working on dispensaries when the industry became legalized in Colorado. Now New Jersey has officially taken the plunge. I see it as a potential niche to try and get into the early stages as it develops in the state, and subsequently PA and NY, no doubt. After years of working on side gigs, I'm officially going solo as of January 1st, 2021, so I thought I'd reach out to see if you had any advice for making that way into that market. Appreciate all the work you put into sharing your business endeavors with the community. Keep up the good work, Sloan.
Awesome. Thank you, Sloan. So we've gotten a couple of these projects, but it didn't become a big part of our business. It wasn't something like we get tenant finishes, we get...
It was not a substantial percentage.
And the reason why was we got those contacts. They kind of found us, and then they stopped finding us. And the reason why is because we didn't pursue that market.
We really didn't. It's not like we went to... But it's not like we went to a bunch of conventions and went and looked for people or cold called.
Right. But you should know, once they legalized it, the state made a bunch of rules. So like there had to be safety and security about how cameras are set up, who can be in there, like what the partitions are like and all that. Become the expert in that. This is my advice. Read through it, go to everything that you can, watch, online things about them talking, know about it.
Literally read through the new bill.
Yep. And then summarize it and put those as blog posts or pages on your website.
Yeah.
Summarize it and put it in there and say, hey, you have to do all this. You need to make sure your architect puts them on the plans, blah, blah, blah. And you can do that for a whole bunch and we do that. Then say, we do that. Because then when they're looking up that information and, tailor it to New Jersey so that they aren't, New Jersey, new marijuana laws, right? When they're searching for that, like New Jersey, how to construct a marijuana, place, stuff like that.
And I am not a fan of these folks, but I am a fan of their website. Go to evstudio.com/articles. I think they've done probably the best job out of maybe anybody that I've seen so far, where they write their own articles and then people find them, and they could just be homeowners, but they go through just details or new codes and stuff like that. Go to see how they tackle it on their website, and I think they're a good primer for how to do it. Then so Alex is on. I think that's the background you need. The other thing I think, then if you're really wanting to go after it, I would try to find as many. Maybe COVID would be over by then. Maybe they'll just be virtual events. But there's got to be some kind of there's a cannabis, conference coming up or whatever. And then see if you could also find out somehow if you could keep up with a Secretary of State who's applying for licenses. This would be you'd be doing some serious investigative stuff. But if you can see if you could see who's applying for licenses and get a hold of them when they submit for whatever kind of business license they're doing through the state or the city or whatever, then you could get a lead on those potential people and say, hey, I'm interested in helping out. Because one of the things I think we found that there was a psychology of some architects did not want to touch the work whatsoever at all. And because it's just different. And then, so we did have a couple clients that came to us and they were like, yeah, this other architect wouldn't touch it and stuff like that. So if you can just show outwardly you're open to that stuff, that'll go a long ways.
Absolutely.
Biggest thing, though, is hiring also. Make sure you have a really good MEP firm. That was the bulk of the work. Yep. All the grow lights and whatever, especially if you're doing a grow operation.
That's another good tip, is maybe find
somebody
the MEP people that are doing it. That's another good one, because we almost got a project or two through the MEPs.
Exactly.
Yep. Lighting too, because if they're using lighting consultants. So, yep.
You could go to the head shops. I got to imagine you still have head shops in New Jersey where they sell the quote unquote tobacco pipes and the tobacco papers, right? Where you could go in there and you could just kind of introduce yourself.
Leave cards.
I'm
sure they have that thing where there's a whole bunch of cards there.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. So now we can go to our other friend, Nick for Nick Reads.
Hello, best friends. I hope you all had a great week this week. A reading. I'm not crazy. It's Christmas Eve, almost. It's the one night of the year when we all act a little nicer. We smile a little easier, and we cheer a little more. For a couple of hours out of the whole year, we are the people that we always hoped we would be. It's a miracle. It's really sort of a miracle because it happens every Christmas Eve. And if you waste that miracle, you're going to burn for it. I know what I'm talking about. You have to do something. You have to take a chance. You have to get involved. There are people that are having trouble making their miracle happen. There are people that don't have enough to eat. There are people that are cold. You can go out and say hello to these people. You can take an old blanket out of the closet and say, here. You can make them a sandwich and say, oh, by the way, here. I get it now. And if you give, then it can happen. Then the miracle can happen to you. It's not just the poor and the hungry. It's everybody who has got to have this miracle. And it can happen tonight for all of you. If you believe in this spirit thing, the miracle will happen. And then you'll want to make it happen again tomorrow. You won't be one of these bastards who says, Christmas is just a once-a-year thing. And it's a fraud. It's not. It can happen every day. You've just got to want the feeling. And if you like it and if you want it, you'll get greedy for it. You'll want it every day of your life. And it can happen to you. I believe in it now. I believe it's going to happen to me now. I'm ready for it. And it's great. It's a good feeling. It's really better than I've felt in a long time. I'm ready. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody. Bill Murray from Scrooged. Toodles!
Nice. I should watch that. I've never watched that show. Have you watched that show, Al?
Yeah.
Scrooge?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Christmas spirit, extend that. Extend it as much as you can.
Make that happen.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what we're going to extend, hopefully. Tyler's winning streak with A.R.E. Jeopardy. Let's bring the crew down.
Here we go. Question number 1. When does water expand? A, when it's cold. So we haven't done this?
We have not done this.
Why do I feel deja vu? B, when it's frozen.
Because you're supposed to be here, Al.
C, when it's hot. D, when it's warm. E, when it's cold or frozen. Can you repeat those?
Yeah. This is
When
very A.R.E.
Does water expand? A,
Yeah.
when it's cold. B, when it's frozen. C, when it's hot. D, when it's warm. E, when it's cold or frozen.
That's what it makes you do is like, I feel like these tests and these questions make you go, am I like fundamentally, I don't understand just fundamental anything?
yeah.
Like, what do you breathe in?
You're going to have to write bigger than that. I am supposed to have glasses on. I don't. I got C, B, E, A. It is E, when it's cold or frozen.
Yeah.
Are you sure about?
Yes.
Expand?
Yes.
Expands when it's cold?
Yep.
How do you think pipes burst?
How do you think pipes burst?
No, I know frozen, but I'm thinking like compression, cold, expansion, warm.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I'm serious. That's from, it's from something similar
Yep.
to NCARB and study material.
Number 2, what is a device called that limits the starting and opening voltages to a lamp and controls the current once the lamp is in operation called? Okay. A, limiter. B, lighting control. C, ballast. D, operator. So it limits the starting and operation voltages to a lamp and controls the current once it's operation. Is everyone good? Okay. A, C. The correct answer is C, ballast. Ballast.
There you go. Number 3. How many foot candles does 1 lumen of luminous flux uniformly cast on 1 square foot of area? A, 1, B, 2, C, 1 squared, D, 10. How many foot candles does 1 lumen of luminous flux uniformly cast on 1 square foot of area? A, 1, B, 2, C, 1 squared, D, 10. What do we got for guesses? A, B? A. The correct answer is A.
Hey, that was...
Technically. Yeah.
Newest architect. Yeah.
Yep. Markitect. Number 4. Which of the following is not a type of fire detection device? A, ionization. B, photoelectric. C, rise of temperature. D, visual. Or E, infrared or ultraviolet radiation flame detectors.
Wow.
Answers or question? Both? Okay. Number 4. Which of the following is not a type of fire detection device? A, ionization. B, photoelectric. C, rise of temperature. D, visual. E, infrared or ultraviolet radiation flame detectors.
Wouldn't it be a bad mood if they just changed one word? Let's say that last one was correct or incorrect, but they just changed one word in there.
To make it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would do that. Okay, B, A. And I can't see that far, Rebecca. Yeah. Say the word.
You did not increase the size of your lettering one bit, and we complained every single time.
D, visual, is the answer.
Yeah.
Nobody got that right.
Yeah. Nothing can just see a flame and say, hey, besides a person.
Yep.
That's a flame. But what you can see is that you suck at
That
Revit.
should have been easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
There's no
ruined my
tiebreaker
segue.
then. Hang on. You're trying to plug us. Who's...
Two? Wow. Mark, tiebreaker. What's the
What do you got,
tiebreaker?
Rebecca? 1?
It's on there. You want to come read it?
All right, Markitect, come on down.
He's coming on down. And he's going to read the tiebreaker.
Who's tiger?
So,
Susan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to have to write down 2 words.
Okay. And I will point to who brings it up first.
Okay.
I'll keep track of who's first, second, third.
You got the answer?
No, you will say the answer, but I'll just keep track.
Okay. In the refrigeration cycle, after passing the expansion valve, the refrigerant is either hot or cold and under low or high pressure. In the refrigeration cycle, after passing the expansion valve, the refrigerant is either hot or cold and under low or high pressure. Jason is correct. The answer is
low.
cold,
Did you have?
low pressure,
That was a good one.
immediately after the expansion valve.
Yeah. That's a great question because it was just... I like how you hinted and then they could answer.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Jason Buss.
So, no nice segue into go to RevitRocketShip.com if you do not know Revit, and you will learn Revit. Money back guaranteed if you don't like it, but guaranteed, well, you probably will. Just odds are, just based on everyone that's bought it and hasn't returned.
There you have it. We'll talk to you next week.